What's up, everybody? This is Adrian with Scrape Creators, and today we are going to be scraping Reddit, specifically posts in a subreddit. So let's get to it. We're going to scrape, as an example, Ask Reddit, and we're going to be using Scrape Creators. This is the documentation page. You need an XAPI key, so head over to app.scrapecreators.com to get that. Then you put that in the header, and then you have all these query parameters. And if you don't know how to code, or you just want AI to write the code for you, then you can copy the prompt with this button, and then AI can write it for you. Just give that to ChatGPT or Cursor or whatever. And first, make sure you have a language selected and then copy that. But yeah, so let's get to it. So I have this code, which will be available in the description below. And this is going to be written in Node.js, JavaScript. But if you want to translate it to a different language, just again, copy and paste it into an AI of your choice. And first, I like to start off by putting the API that we're going to call into a function. So I'm going to call that scrape subreddit posts. And so that's going to take all of the parameters and then append them to the main URL. So the main base URL is this v1/reddit/subreddit. And then the query parameters subreddit. It's a little bit confusing. I wish I would have named that something else, but here we are. And then if you have these other query parameters, then just add them, append them to the URL. And then, yeah, so we're going to use Axios. I think it's easier to use. So we're going to use axios.get and then that base URL. And then in the headers, we put the XAPI key. And then this is in the env file. And then we just return the response.data. And then here, this is an immediately invoked function. And we have a start date and then an end date way down here. So we can tell how long it took. So you can be super de-duper impressed with how fast it is. And then a max posts, just to say hey, after we hit this amount of posts, then return, so we don't go on forever. We stuff all of the posts in this array, and then here's the subreddit. After, that's for paginating. So if there is an after, we're going to reassign it if response.after, and then we just include that in the request right here, and then we'll get the additional pages of results. And then sort and time frame, these have to be these specific strings. Yeah, these exact strings. And you can't have a time frame if the sort is not top. So it has to be top, and then you can enter a time frame right there. But as you'll see, as I'll kind of demonstrate, they'll kind of return the same thing. And then to make it easier for ourselves, we're going to just include these fields. These are all the ones that are available. You can enlarge it by going here. Yeah, these are all the ones that are available, but as you can see, it's kind of a lot. So just to get the most important stuff, that's what we're going to do. And then push all of those things into the all post array. And then we're going to log it, and then also write all of that stuff to test.json, that file, so we can view it a little better than just in the terminal. So let's do it. So we're going to run node and then the file name. Oh, look at that, 1.4 seconds, pretty good. And then we should have, the posts here. So if we go to the Ask Reddit page, we can see what's a cheat code you discovered in real life, what's a cheat code you discovered in real life, what do you regret doing to your body? And as you'll see here, that one is down here. What do you regret doing to your body? And I'm using a different API than what they are using here. So you don't get the exact results, but pretty close to the same results. It's all the same data. Even if you see a post here that's not on the web UI, then it still exists. It's just, again, using a different API than what they're using here. Let's see if I can find one. What's something you found on a partner's phone? Partner phone. Yeah, so it doesn't look like this one is available. What's something you found on a partner's phone? But as you can see, it was created today. We can actually go to the post. Yeah, it was created 20 hours ago, and the post exists. It's just, again, using a different API. But the stuff. Oh, what's something you found on your partner's phone? Okay, yeah, it's there. So again, it's a little bit out of whack, a little bit out of order, but it's all there. Or most of it should be there. Yeah, so we can get the author, created at, number of comments, and ups and down votes, subreddit, title, permalink. Yeah. Cool. And then if we do another one, if we do kill Tony, and then say we want, let's say 50 posts, you'll see it paginate here. So fetching post after null, after this one, boom, 3 seconds, pretty good, pretty fast. Ticket sales mega thread, and then, yeah, you can see all the posts there. Let's go back to Ask Reddit, though, just so we can roll through and see these other sorts. So just to see this pretty clearly, if we sort this by new, then these should be, yeah, like a minute old. So if we sort by new, then let's see what gets returned there. Boom. Yeah, that's pretty fast. How do you keep things spicy daily? Yeah, which is right there. What app is an upside down yellow blah blah? If you had to guess, how many children? Yeah. So like I said before, like the data is all there, and apparently, if you're just going like sequentially, then it returns the exact same. But they use some sort of like different suggestion algorithm, I think, with the different APIs, and it might matter based on your based on the IP. I'm not exactly sure. What is the best? Blah blah blah. Yep. So that's all there. And then I'll show you if we try to do a time frame. So let's try, day. Then we're going to get an error. Boom. Request failed with status 400. You need to sort by top to provide a time frame. So if we sort by top, then boom. And you're not really going to see much of a difference because everything is just 421. Unless we do like all on the laptop keyboard, it's rough. 1.5, so fast. So then these should be, yeah, like from 1.1. People who haven't pooped in 2019 yet, why are you still holding on to that last year's shit? Nice. So if we do, I think, top, right, so it's just what the UI is all time. Then we will see, yep. What about the second one? How do you feel about Reddit adding? Yes, that's what I mean. Like, it's pretty close, though. Would you watch a show? Yeah, I mean, it's something about the suggestion algorithm is a little bit different, but pretty much the same. And yeah, so any of the searches that you do here, you can do in the API. So you just make the different ones there. We'll set it back to null. Null. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And then if you want to grab the comments, you can do that. And I'm going to show that in another video in post comments. So check that one out. And then if you want to scrape any other public social media information, then I have all of the endpoints here. We just scrape public information, so no private information behind the login. And yeah, it has some of the ad libraries, any major social network, as well as minor ones like Truth Social and Threads, like the little brothers to Facebook and Instagram's big brother. Yeah, check that out, scrapecreators.com. Thanks.